Hello, I'm Valentin Mandache from Historic Houses of Romania, Case de Epoca. As we commemorate 66 years since the first abdication of King Michael on 30th of December 1947, I would like to present you an interesting historical witness. It's the envelope of a letter sent in the aftermath of that watershed historical event. The envelope is interesting because it presents two sets of stamps, one from the just ending royal period and another one from the newly installed communist regime, which was going to last until 1989 for another 42 years. It is stamped by the Romanian Post Office on the 11th of February 1948, 1.5 months after the abdication. A bit of background about King Michael. I have here the cover of the newly published book, King Michael, a Historical Album, by Diana Mandache, the first such work on Romania's sovereign's life. He reigned in two periods. First in the late 1920s as a child king, overthrown by his father, Charles II. Then in the 1940s, a period that had its highlight on the 23rd of August 1944, when King Michael arrested the wartime fascist dictator Marshal Antonescu, allied Romania with the democratic powers, thus saving it from catastrophe. That resulted in an unusual cohabitation between a communist-led government imposed by the Soviet Union and a monarch, a very peculiar situation in the Eastern Europe of that period. It is no wonder that the Soviet Union wanted to change that, and on the 30th of December 1947, the communist leaders forced the king to abdicate at gunpoint in the royal palace in Bucharest. The communist dictatorship that followed damaged Romania, from which it has not yet recovered now 24 years after the 1989 revolution. Let's have a look in detail at the envelope and its significance. Again, it's back here, and let's see the stamps from the royal period. They are a usual issue of stamps, royal stamps, with the figure of the sovereign, a young monarch in military uniform with the state crown atop, and contain images from Romania of that period. Above, there are peasant drifters on a log raft. It's an old trade in eastern Romania on Bistrița River. And below, an image of Reșița Iron Works, the oldest iron works on the territory of Romania. The stamps are marked as being produced by the Stamps Factory, Fabrica de Timbre, and also the artist is mentioned. As I can see here, the name H. Morny. The communist set of stamps, they are much poorer in quality than the ones from the just ending royal period. The name of the country is already changed, Republica Populară Română, People's Republic of Romania, in contrast with the simple Romania one from the time of King Michael. And they advertise the census of 1948 and try to put a bit of communist paraphernalia around. A family of workers and peasants, representing the two social classes with which the communists tried to build the new equalitarian society. Let's have a look at the symbolistic of these two families, two social classes. The workers are represented as a three-generation family. The grandfather, parents and child. The breadwinner is obviously the father, quite a patriarchal society. Still, a worker from the heavy industry, symbolized by the heavy hammer on his shoulder. The wife, usually a housewife in that period, is with her head covered, quite puritanical, in tone with the puritanism of the communist regime, which was to last that kind of puritanical outlook for 5 decades. Their child is depicted with his or her books under the arms, symbolizing a brighter future less heavy toiling than the parents. The peasant's family exudes more or less the same message, although they are a bit poorer represented than the workers. They look sturdy, much healthier, and anyway, they were the second fiddle in the communist ideology, in their plan of changing the world, the society. The stamps are marked as being produced by Fábrica de Timbre, stamps factory, but significantly the name of the artist is not mentioned. Perhaps people weren't yet sure to put their marks on designs, on creations of the new regime. They didn't know that was there to last. The envelope, the back of the envelope also contains two tax authority stamps, fiscal stamps, which were put here probably because the letter was sent abroad to Paris. It is stamped on the 11th of February 1948 in Bucharest, the post office number 3, just 1.5 months after the abdication and about 3 weeks before the king formally announced the forced abdication in London. He just made a statement about this kind of undemocratic move by the Romanian communists, which in contrast was portrayed in Romania as a kind of popular will. The face of the envelope contains a simple address sent to someone, Monsieur Jean Sachs, who probably belongs to the Jewish community, and the letter itself is probably communication between people belonging to that community in both Bucharest and Paris. It is sent to a building number 2 or 4, 1 Villaret de Joyeuse Street. That reflects the uncertainty regarding the location of that person, in a way the anxiety of the Romania-based person to communicate with Monsieur Jean Sachs, perhaps to arrange the emigration from the totalitarianism of Romania, the Stalinism of Romania, which was just beginning in 1948. It's interesting that I acquired the letter, the envelope, at an antique postcard fair in London in the early 2000s and brought it back to Bucharest now after the communism fell. It had quite complicated journey throughout Europe during these 6 decades. But where Monsieur Jean Sachs lived, I got curious about that, and thanks to Google Earth I was able to precisely locate number 2 or 4, 1 Villaret de Joyeuse Street in Paris. It looks that is a prestige address in the neighborhood of Avenue de la Grande Armée, very close by Arc de Triomphe and Champs-Élysées. Probably someone belonging to the elite of the French society and a notable of the Jewish community. The prestige location is obvious when someone looks at Google Earth Street View. Here is number 2, Villaret de Joyeuse Street, with a beautiful doorway. Beaux-Arts style, probably built at the end of the 19th century, early 20th, with a beautiful ironwork on the doorway and the balconies. And here is number 4 on Villaret de Joyeuse Street. The same Beaux-Arts style building put up probably in the late 19th century, early 20th, with beautiful ironwork on the doorway and balconies. A luxury location in Paris, so much contrasting with the situation in Romania. Paris, part of the then free world, and Romania entering the dark ages of communist totalitarianism. It is interesting that we now can make that comparison, we can make that analysis today, having the historical witness, the envelope, and the data, which are available to us through publications such as Diana's book about King Michael, and the electronic trove of information through Google and other sites, and thus giving us a better image of the past from which we can hopefully learn.